what we're talking about here is not commercialization. Because commercialization is all about transactions. It's all about, I've invented something, I've embodied it in a piece of intellectual property, and now I'm going to transact that piece of intellectual property, which UniQuest is very good at. We're going to give that to a company or an investor, and the investor is going to give us money to do more research. And that's the transaction. It's done. It's happens at one point in time, and it's done. It basically is only relevant for therapeutics and engineering widgets and composition of matter type stuff. It's not relevant for 99% of what universities do. So this is not about commercialization. This is a not commercialization workshop. This is not what it is. What we're talking about is actually co-creating value with people, with humans, with the who you want to work with. How do I co-create with? Which is the commercialization is I'm inventing something for someone else. There's a very big difference between working for someone or working with them. So I do all the work. I'm really clever. I've got a PhD. You know, I've got a patent, and I've done this for you. Aren't you? You should be very thankful I've done this for you. They say I don't care. There's no doors. I don't know how to get into this thing. It's too complicated. It's too expensive. It actually solves the wrong problem. Whereas if you're actually working with people, you're actually building with them. So it's actually involving them early in the process. Transactional commercialization is all about money. That's the transaction. I give you a piece of intellectual property. You give me some money. That's great. Universities love that. We've just done a deal. UniQuest, UQ has just done a deal, you know, the biggest biotech deal, you know, in Australia's history 3 weeks ago with ViceBio, with the molecular clamp technology. They've been working on that for 20 years, you know, and ultimately that was licensed to a company in the UK, ViceBio, and now Sanofi Ventus, big French company, has paid $1.5 billion for it. Like, that's a big deal.
It's just a small question. So how much is that deal is actually coming back to the researchers that's actually working on that?
A lot. So out of that 1.5 billion, that's 1.5 billion US, probably 2.2 billion dollars Australian. I don't know exactly what the share is, but some of the media reports I saw said UQ will get between $200 and $300 million US. That's a lot of money. And a third of that is going to go to the researchers. That's a bloody lot of money for a researcher. I mean, you know, that's game changing. But we've really only had 2 or 3 incidents of that in 30 years. And we're better than any other university in Australia, without doubt. Like between Gardasil and now ViceBio is not a product yet. It's still a technology. It's not selling anything. You know, Gardasil was selling $1 to $2 billion worth of Gardasil, you know, generating $30 to $40 million a year worth of royalties for UQ. ViceBio, the molecular clamp, is not there yet. It's still a technology. It's not a product. But that's what transactions are. That's what commercialization is. And in some senses, you could argue, and I have argued, is that what that does is it sort of clouds the university's mind. It thinks we need to do more of that because that's really cool. We might rather have $300 million than just these little sort of nice, fluffy, you know, projects. But what I'm saying is that that's extraordinarily rare. We get one of them every maybe 20 years, 20 or 30 years. Whereas this co-creation relationship, that can happen, and it does happen all day, every day, by researchers partnering with industry, by researchers partnering with people who actually have problems and they really want to know how to solve them. You know, I work with education researchers who are working on how to stop kids getting in trouble with the police. Like, they're working with cops, they're working with teachers, they're working with parents, they're working with city councils. Like, it's not that hard. Like, because they have these problems, they're really trying to find solutions. One of my students in my MBA course, named Barus, and he came up with this really great summary of what he'd been listening to me teach about. He said, if stakeholders are involved early in shaping a solution, they feel ownership over it. And that shifts their perspective from this is being imposed on or offered to me to this is something I helped build. That feeling of ownership makes a difference. It turns resistance into excitement, skepticism into belief. So successful innovation isn't about designing solutions, it's about designing engagement. That's so important. Innovation is about designing engagement. It's actually engaging people to try and find people who cares. The earlier you do that, the more likely is you're going to have impact. If you want to have impact, engage early. Don't wait till you've invented something because you might have invented the wrong thing.